Hello and welcome back to M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional. Now, I would like to talk a little bit about resistances at the closing end of the selling process. So I want to talk about a very commonly used pushback from clients where they turn around and tell you, let me think about this, or I'll come back to you, or I need to check with someone. So in this particular video, I'd like to talk about some techniques that you could use when a client tells you, let me think about this. Now first, let's understand the psychology behind this statement. When a person says, let me think about this, it's not necessary that they're saying no. It's just that they're still unclear about certain facts, or the product or the pitch wasn't so convincing that I'm ready to put my 3 million on the table. In some cases, it could be, I don't want to go ahead with it, but I'd rather not say that to you, so I'll walk away with a let me think about it. One way or the other, we need to engage with this client because you don't know what to answer since you don't know what they need to think about. So let me give you 3 techniques that you could use to handle let me think about it. So the first one is called what's the concern approach. So here's what you would do. You'd take the name of the client. Let's say it is Ahmed. I'd simply turn around and say, the client has said, let me think about this. I'd say, Ahmed, I understand. From our experience, when someone has found a home that they really love, it ticks every box in terms of what the community can give them as a lifestyle, and then they say they need to think about it, it usually means they have a concern. May I ask, what is it? So let me repeat that technique again. Ahmed, I understand. From my experience, when someone has found a home that they absolutely love, it actually ticks every box in their mind about the community and the lifestyle they want, and then they say, let me think about it, it usually means they have a concern. May I ask, what is it? And then you keep quiet. The pressure is put on the client to have to give you some reason, so he might actually open up and tell you what's his concern. Now, another way you can do this is to bring the price of that home, the amount, into the conversation, and then use a third-party approach, the feel, felt, found. So client raises the concern and says, you know what, let me think about this. I would say, Ahmed, we're talking 8.5 million dirhams for this home. Of course you need to think about it. When you do that, nobody gets up and walks away. They actually feel reassured. Ahmed, we're talking 8.5 million dirhams. Of course you need to think about it. In fact, some of our best clients initially felt the same, and some of them actually did think about it. But they always came back because when they saw what we offered in the community, they realized why this community stood out compared to the others. How would you like to go ahead? So what you do is you bring the price into it, acknowledge this is an important decision, you need to think about it. A lot of others in fact did think about it, but here's what they discovered. So that is the approach that you could use. The key in all these techniques is once you have finished what you have to say, you need to keep quiet. The pressure is put on the client. Whoever breaks the silence first is going to lose. Now the third technique that you could use is a maybe I can help you think with this. So again, use the amount. A client tells you, let me think about this. I would turn around and say, Ahmed, we're talking 5 million dirhams. Of course, you need to think about it. In fact, most of the clients who worked with me, I actually helped them think it through. So if I may ask you, what is the first thing that you would need to think about before you make this decision? And then you pause. So now they have to open up rather than you letting the person just leave and go away. Show them that you're there to help. The idea that you're selling is, I've helped a lot of clients when they had to actually think about that decision, and that's when we close the deal. So 3 techniques that you could use to deal with let me think about it. There is another very powerful technique which is actually used by Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, called the looping technique. And at some point in the future, probably 2 to 3 weeks later, I will share a video with you on how to use the looping technique. I want to thank you for joining us on this episode of M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional.